today's shave. I've decided that my next blade that I'm going to marathon is this feather. I've already got 9 shaves on it, so today's going to be the 10th. I'm not saying I'm stopping with the Nacet if you're a regular watcher. It's at 120 right now, but maybe I'll alternate, that sort of thing. Get a few more shaves in with some younger blades. Then I'll probably hit that Nacet up for another 10 and get to 130 if I can. The soap today is a sample I ordered. I don't know if I got it at Maggard's or where, but if you can read the fine print, Wickham Russian Leather. Wickham, I'm going to assume, is a British soap. It comes in the typical tubs, but all I have is a sample. I don't really have a real logo to tell you about it. I think it says like Wickham and then a year, like 1924 or something like that. And I've been smelling this for a few weeks, and it's got an appropriate name, Russian Leather. It does, smell like leather and almost imperial nature to it. And so it's a pretty firm croap. I was able to dig into it with my little 1/4 teaspoon, but here's how he looks. I'll press him down into my cool bowl from my friend named Roger. This is my second time using it. Before I do that, we'll introduce the rest of the crew. This is a UK/British Aristocrat, and this is the number 16. Really nice piece, beautiful, historic, solid, and a great shaver. Inside him is that feather already. The brush we're going to be using today is this 1800 from Semogue, and it's a Boar brush. I've had it soaking for a few hours, so that's my little technique to help it to break in. I think maybe I've only used it twice, so that's what I'm using there. I'm going to pause you while I'll do a little splash on my face to prep my hairs, and then I'll press this soap into the bottom of the bowl. All right. I'm going to sling most of the water out of the brush, and we'll load with just start up here with a lightly damp brush. It's a little harder to press the soap into the bottom of the bowl because of these cool ridges that I have in this one. This is in case you haven't seen my recent broadcast yesterday, this is a printed bowl. Somebody with a 3D printer, very cool guy, put together a design. Saw one of my YouTube videos and sent me this. And it's just so awesome. His name's Roger. I'm very grateful. And yesterday it worked really well. Worked too well in a sense. I think I just loaded way too much soap, so it had soap just all over it. So let's just start up. This will be my second time using the bowl. My first time with a Boar brush. So, but the reason, in case you don't know, the reason I use a lightly wet brush at first, some soaps just prefer that. And this one's doing great. It's staying pretty dry. So I will take my medicine syringe. My kids are older now. I don't know where I'm going to get these syringes if this one breaks or gets lost. Alright, so I went ahead and put a whole teaspoon in there just to kind of see what would happen. Looking pretty good. Yeah, it's a good scent. As I recall, the 1800 might be a mix of grades. I think it's a like the premium grade, which is a really nice grade of boar hair that they have. Really soft tips and all that. And then I think one of the other grades, maybe the extra. Another reason I got it was because it had this nice long handle as opposed to a couple of the more infamous Semogue brushes. But it's been, even in the first couple of uses, been really pretty good. Look at that. Already getting some good stuff. So now we have 2 teaspoons of water in the lather. Let's refill. And I'm going to go ahead and put another half in there because I'm pretty sure it can use it. Yeah, the lather's looking really good. Looks like it's hydrating nicely. Like I said, I just have never tried this base before. And you know what, I think Maggards must have had a sale on their samples, maybe is where I got this. Can't remember. And what I do is I have a drawer for my razors and extra handles that aren't really in any razors, and I put my little samples on top of all that, and so they're kind of in the way, and that helps me to want to clear them out. You know, at one point it took me a while, at the end of maybe last year or something, it took me a while to finally get rid of them, but then, you know, I found some more. This lather's coming together really well. Feels good. Nice and slick on the fingers. Let's go ahead and add another half. I like that it's so firm. A lot of times that means it doesn't have a lot of the soft stuff that conditions your skin, and then you kind of get more money, more for your money. Because I just use a balm after my shaves, and so I'd rather not be paying for them to add extra stuff in my shaving soap. Yeah, looking pretty good. Still a little on the dry side. You can see how it holds itself together like that. And let's add a little bit more. Just, this is not necessary, but I think maybe my rinse right before I start lathering. This will kind of help to cut away some of those skin oils that I've got. So now 4 teaspoons are in this lather. So this is a thirsty soap, it looks like. Do a little finger sample here. Yeah, a little bit of cushion. Nice, nice slickness. This is holding up really well. Plus, this kind of gives me a chance to sample the scent as I'm mixing up the lather. I think I like it so far. Now I'm going to refill again. So this is the third refill. I don't think I'm going to use all of it. I'm pretty sure I won't. I'm going to put in another half. So this is a thirsty soap. And the cushioning I just felt is telling me I'm not overhydrating it. Let's just go with this. Okay, let's give you a look at what it looks like as I pull it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. He still supports its own weight, but let's just see if that's fine. Okay, use that little brush rest, that handle coming up, ingenious brush rest. Rinse. All right, see what this little boar feels like now. No scritch, very comfortable with a good brush. Scent is definitely there for me to experience, so that's cool. Maybe a 5 or 6 out of 10, and that is rare. I like this. This type of strength is just not usually present. Now I do have kind of some clumping right here, so it's possible that means I need to add more water. Let's add a little bit more with my sprayer. Now I didn't want to overwater it. Looks like I could have kept on pushing it. Because yeah, this is still going really well. Yeah, looking really good. You can see the nice lather around the base there. That means it's not overhydrated. I think maybe I'll stop there. Oh yeah, that's nice. I'm definitely going to add a little bit more water to my bowl to bring that part of the lather up to this. There we go. See, look at that. Nice and smooth, no clumping. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's a great feeling brush. I may not have to do any more pre-soaking on this brush. Put it in that little stand is great, the hook holder thing. Because I'm not having to, it's sitting in there nicely without me having to worry about it too much. You know, I'm not having to be tender and place it carefully or something like that. So that's nice. Yeah, I'm enjoying this scent. Very nice. All right. Feather. Have not tried it as far as I can remember. A feather in this 16. It's usually a really good cutter. Wow. I don't even feel most of the, I just wasn't even feeling the cutting for a little while there. That's just amazing. Western Man has a really good Russian as well. Cologne Russe. I enjoy it too. Haven't used it too many times. And these United Kingdom Aristocrats are just wonderfully arranged with their geometry, with the blade, because they ride this really nice middle ground between efficient cutting at the risk of being possibly aggressive and really comfortable. So you get the best of both worlds. You get pretty good comfort with some nice edginess to really get a good cut. Really happy about that. Rinse time. That one pass gave me a really good cut. I could walk away right now. And in most job environments, everybody would think I had a good shave, maybe a 3-pass or something. That's just really good. All right. So here's that cool little hook holding my brush. Put another half a teaspoon of water in there. So let's mix up that. There we go. Nice splay with the brush. Feels really good. It'll get even better as the tips split. Yeah, it needed more water. This feels really good. Feels like it's going to perform really well. It's not the Santa's beard thickness, but that's not our goal. Man, the scent on this thing is so welcome. I'm used to the American artisans, and so many of them are putting out soaps that are not offending people. They're paying attention to people's sensitivities, skin issues, and things like that. And so the strength on a lot of them is really low. Well, not so here. I'm really enjoying this. Cross grain now. My cheeks, they grow straight down, pretty conventional. And because they're pretty concave, I can pretty much always get a great shave. I meant convex. Since I can inflate my cheeks and that sort of thing. Shorter strokes are also good in the neck region. If you are like me and have hairs that turn different directions, like if when the hair coming from up here, it's kind of coming down this way, and at some point it does a swirl and it mixes in with the hair coming this way. And so when I go from bottom to top, it's kind of a cross grain until I get up to these hairs that are coming down this way, and then it turns into more of a against the grain pass. And so then I have to be careful. And so the short strokes will help me figure out when I get too far and I can stop and change. Not a lot of residual slickness with this soap. Once the lather kind of dries on your face after you've done your pass, you'll want to re-lather before you do any more shaving. And now time for that third pass. And this is a young boar. See, he hasn't opened very much. And so kind of have to go back. And that's why I was doing kind of the swirl motions before, just to kind of stir up the lather with this young guy. Normally you don't have to do those scrubby motions after the first pass very much at all, since you've already cleaned your face. I mean, I might even say this could be called a 7 out of 10. Yeah, I'm going to say 6 or 7 is the scent strength on this one, and I'm really enjoying it. Okay, third pass. Not too much hair on my cheeks is left. So just kind of a quick pass. Another way to have fun with it is to, or to learn something from it, is to work on your angle and see at what angle do I hear any cutting at all. And then you can know there's your sweet spot, because if you've already done 2 good passes, then you've removed a lot of hair already. Okay, here's my trouble spot. Let's be strategic about this and see if we can not cause any irritation, but get a good cut. There we go. I think we might have done it. See what happens. So I've had really good rinses with this soap. Creaminess, you know, I like to take it, get it creamy, but hydrate it, and then stop right before it's not creamy is kind of where I go. Some people push it further, get it extra slick, extra hydrated. It's not really creamy anymore, but it's still a very high performance lather, especially those of you who like single edge and or straight razors, because they need less thickness and a lot of hydration, a lot of slickness to do their work. Face feels very good. I feel just a hint of tenderness somewhere, maybe over here, but it's just nothing at all, really. It's, you know, I wanted to be truthful and say it wasn't a perfect shave in terms of comfort, but it's very minimal. And the balm, it may even be fine before I even put the balm on. Now, hey, you know what? Actually, let's go with an alcohol splash today and see what happens. Don't have a lot of post-shave products. So one of my favorite from Clubman. Yep, I've got Special Reserve, and then this one, Whiskey Woods. Special Reserve is kind of grassy and green, and so I like that one all right. I like this one better. It's a little bit nondescript, you know, but that also means that it doesn't really get in the way. It's not overpowering when I'm trying to go to sleep at the end of the day. A little bit of stinging, alcohol splash, so, and there we go. And stinging's gone. We're good. Very nice. It's a very low-key scent. And so it's kind of my go-to guy. In a way, I wish there was more fragrance in there, but I also like the fact that he goes with so many things. I don't really like the normal Clubman, the default, the Pinaud, just straight Clubman. My wife and I, we don't really like that one. A lot of people do. It's very popular. It's not me. So, terrific cut. This is my litmus test. And this is a concave area right next to my Adam's apple. Somehow the hairs tend to just lay down and not get those, not get cut very well at all. I have to work really hard to get it done. Well, the feather can handle it, and he's been able to handle it for a few different razors now. So A lot of people argue online about feathers not really being sharper than other blades. It's just a bunch of hype. Well, that may be subjective. The angles and the razors that you're using it in, and your handle angle, all those come into play. But for me, feathers are just sharper. They perform better. They cut more closely where others don't. So they're sharper. That's the word I would use. So we'll just see if this guy can hold his edge and how long he can. Pretty confident I'll be able to go 30 or 40 shaves with it. And then we'll see what happens from there. Neat thing is, with when you start marathoning a blade, it starts to smooth out. And that's a neat thing for feathers to do, since, for me at least, they're pretty sharp. All right. And if you're a new person, maybe give feathers a try if you want. If you're like me, you're going to be curious if you can handle it with all the hype going around. But then put them aside and improve your technique without feathers. And then I got cut up 2 to 3 times per shave when I first started with feathers, within a month or two of starting with this kind of shaving. But then after 4 months, something like that, tried feathers again, no problem at all. Many people have that same experience. So let's look at how much lather we have left. We have lots, and that's pretty cool, because that means 1/4 teaspoon goes a long way. I definitely have more lather from this soap than I do with some of the artisan soaps like Barrister and Man. And this guy performed really well, really happy with it. And so that means you're going to get more shaves per ounce or per gram of soap, which is very cool for the wallet. Look at that. Look how hydrated that is. You see that fall apart like that? And that's how far you can push it and have it behave and have it give you a tremendous... This is the perfect lather for me. It gives me these great creamy rinses, and still it's super slick. Bonds to your face to then protect your skin against the razor. Really, really happy with this. Yeah, that's good. I have to check the prices. I would consider this, if this was at the price of like Barrister and Man and Holy Cow and Declaration, I would consider it a good buy. Because, as we discovered, it doesn't take as much. I'm going to guess, conservatively, you could use 2/3 as much, or 1/3 less, let's put it that way, than with some of those other crops. And so that means, then, that it's a deal if it's the same price as, those other crops. So that's pretty cool. But I can't remember what the price range is. So there we go. All right, so really happy with that. I think I refilled this thing 3 times, and so that would mean that 5 1/4 teaspoons of water for that 1/4 teaspoon amount, roughly 1/4 teaspoon. There were some empty parts in the teaspoon that you probably saw, but it also went a little higher than the level. So I think it kind of equaled out by my eyeballs. Razor did really well. No nicks or weepers. The irritation I told you about, as I predicted, is gone, not a worry. Minimal stinging with the alcohol splash. Happy with that. That scent is really nice, and it's playing really well with the Russian leather from Wickham. Definitely going to look into the Wickham and see what price point it is, because if it's reasonable, then I think I'll have to pick up a tub, because I really like that. I have one other, I think it's called Magnum, something like that. And that's the other sample that I have. I'll try to remember to do that tomorrow to have a nice comparison between the two. So really good shave today. Really happy with the 1800. Come along nicely. It's soft on the face, even at this young state. It hasn't opened up yet, but that's all right. And so we're everything going really well on this one. So here's the display of this little 1800. after stropping on the towel back there. Sometimes I like to I'll look back at some of these old videos on YouTube where this guy started out, and it's great to be able to compare the splay and watch it bloom and all that. And we definitely have plenty of hairs being split. And so that means it's where that softness is starting to come from. Very nice. Really happy with this guy. And yes, this band of dark color is a dye with these boars. It's not naturally occurring. I think maybe they do it just to tell some of them apart. It'd be really hard to tell that one apart from the 1250 that I have. All done cleaning up. That was a good shave. Face feels great. The aftershave, I don't know, it must have some nutrients or something in there because it's good. All right. Well, that was my first try at Wickham. My first feather inside of that particular model of a British Aristocrat. Everything went really well. Really happy with all that. So I hope there was something here for you. As for me, I'm going to investigate more Wickham. Look at that price point. See if I might be interested in picking up a full-size tub. Even if I don't like the Magnum or whatever it is, Mangum. If I don't like that sample, at least I know that the Russian leathers are really good scent that I might like. Maybe order some more samples from them now that I know that they have a really good base. So there we go. I learned something today. All right. Well, this is Sugar Daddy Shaves. You take care. Good night.